You may have seen me before talking about the concept of advice alpha, that is the extra that you get in your financial return by engaging with an advisor. There's been quite a bit of research done around this. Vanguard have done some research, Quilter have done some research, Morningstar have done some research. The International Longevity Centre, the ILC, did some research. And back in 2017, they had some very interesting findings, which I'm going to quote from here. They demonstrated that they looked at those who received advice and those who didn't, and they estimated that those who received advice and were more affluent were 6.7% more likely to save and 9.7% more likely to invest in the equity market than those that didn't. So what does that mean? What impact does that have on outcomes? Well, those people who took advice subsequently, by virtue of taking the advice, had 16 to 17% more financial assets, 16% higher pension wealth, and 16% greater pension income each year than those that didn't. So that's pretty powerful. However, just recently, the International Longevity Centre, the ILC, sponsored by St James's Place, have carried out some further research into the non-financial benefits of advice, a very interesting concept. Their findings, and I'm going to quote again, were that people, you probably say this is pretty obvious, but it was interesting to see how they reached those findings and what people who said, the people they interviewed, said about the benefits of taking advice and how they felt amongst those who didn't take advice. People who take advice are more confident and better prepared. Probably a statement of the obvious. Advice improves financial literacy, confidence, and delivers greater control, reassurance, and peace of mind. Really important, that peace of mind. We'll all associate with that. Men and women see the non-financial benefits of advice differently. Delivery of non-financial benefits depends on the advisor. This is really important. And the service having certain characteristics. Unsurprisingly, those who took advice felt more confident. They tended to have clarity around their goals. They had a plan in place to execute those goals, and they regularly reviewed them. And all of that gave them confidence. By contrast, those who didn't take advice, almost when asked for what was the one word that most summed up how you feel about your finances, the two most common words were worried, anxious. Again, unsurprisingly. So that non-financial benefit of peace of mind is really, really strong. So what drives the non-financial benefits of advice? Well, the characteristics of the advisor and the characteristics of the advice. In relation to the advisor, the ILC found from their research, financial expertise and the ability to explain finances, people skills, and an impartial approach. Characteristics of the service, the advice service that was received, the important factors there were tailored advice, so relevant to me, not generic, face-to-face relationships, face-to-face actually, and over the internet, of course, these days, ongoing relationships, so not a one-off thing, a constant continuing relationship, and a wide range of financial options, not just crammed into one or two sets of solutions. In relation to the advisor's characteristics that are most valued, I found this quote particularly telling. The fact they have knowledge I don't, and I feel I can trust them with my money, that's what I value the most. In that, I think you can see the essence of the trust equation at play. You may recall the trust equation is above the line and below the line. Above the line, we have credibility, reliability, and intimacy. Below the line, we have self-orientation. And what we want is high scores above the line, big numbers for being credible, reliable, and being intimate. So basically, knowing your stuff, going to back to that quote, knowing your stuff, turning up and doing what you say you're going to do, the reliability part. And then the other part, intimacy, being able to relate it well in a way that the client understands. And the dividing part, which you want a low score for, is self-orientation. You need it to be about them, not about you. So low score below the line, low self-orientation, high score above the line, big scores for reliability, credibility, and intimacy. So in summary, for me, this latest research about the non-financial benefit of advice reaffirms completely the absolute importance and power of getting a high score on the trust equation. Try it for yourself and test yourself regularly.